moving over into Switzerland now. The Berner Oberland is the name of the region. It's just south of Interlaken, and I would sleep in the town of Lauterbrunnen or Miran. They're two great Alpine towns. Lauterbrunnen is down in the bottom of the valley floor. Miran's up on a cliff top. Something to be said for Lauterbrunnen being more central and being more of a transportation hub, where it takes another hour to get from there up to Miran. So just keep that in mind between the two. This is a hike along a ridge that I did with every tour group that I could when I was leading our Germany, Austria, and Switzerland tours. And this is a ridge in the center of the map there. It may be hard to see. This is simply a placemat.
I can help.
Yeah, thank you.
Mannlichen to Kleine Scheide.
That's it. Mannlichen to Kleine Scheide.
So we're going this way.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. So that's, we've cable carred up to the start of the hike at Mannlichen, and we're going to walk around the kind of backside of the ridge to get over there to Kleine Scheide. Yeah, thank you. So Miran, I'll just mention the type of town you could be sleeping in. Miran is just a woody, beautiful little wonderland. I'm not a huge flower guy, but the way they go to town on the flowers on the decks, you know, man, you're there every year as well leading tours. It's just incredible. And they're playful. The Swiss have a sense of humor. You know, they have a straight-laced reputation. They're playful in unique, odd, sort of little playful ways. Going up to these different alpine passes in this area, you're going to be taking trains and cable cars. The trains take a funicular, which means they're cranking up a steep slope that is too steep for regular metal wheels to turn, get traction. Now, I'm amazed by the glaciers. Whenever I'm over there, look at that rock at the bottom that thing is shoving downhill. Those are huge boulders. Those are big trees. That's a giant thing, and it can carve a valley like that. That just blows me away, that over time, that water, simply frozen water over time, could do that to rock. And if you're on the coast, your glaciated valley will be a fjord with seawater just running right into it. So this is, just...
This is from an old textbook.
Old textbook of mine, yeah, that I always remember this. You've got the Lauterbrunnen Valley down in the lower left-hand corner, filled in with silt that came down off the mountains once the glacier melted. And on the right, you've got the fjord.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So our hike, we've taken a cable car all the way up to the Mannlichen Ridge. We're up at 7,300 feet, and we're going to walk downhill to 6,700 feet along the ridge. First, we're fueling up. I love this Swiss dish. It's farmer's food. It's called rosti. And rosti, oh man, sticks to your ribs. It's the three main ingredients are going to be cheese, hash browns, and eggs, and then anything else that they throw in with the kitchen sink.
It is. I tell my tour members, like, this is why I am hiking today. I am hiking only so I can eat rosti.
Yeah. It's good stuff. And here's the ridge. We're hiking from left to right along that ridge. Those odd-looking stripes are avalanche fences because the town of Wengen lies just out of view below at the bottom of this canyon. And they do have potentially fatal avalanches every year. So that's a winter safety precaution, those avalanche fences. Here's the ridge. And we're hiking towards the mountains, downhill along the Mannlichen Ridge. If you were down below in the valley, you would think it's a cloudy, rainy, damp day. But look what we got up here. So go online and check the weather.
Have you been there since they revamped the Mannlichen gondola?
No, I
and
haven't.
made it open top?
Have they?
Okay, this is the best $5 that you can spend in Switzerland. So if you take the gondola from Wengen up to Mannlichen, they sell it separately. This little ticket's like five Swiss francs.
Yeah.
And you get into the big gondola, which will hold like 30 people, and you take a little tiny spiral staircase to the top, and then you're outside. There's usually like, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 people,
Wow.
and you go up the mountain on top of the cable car,
wow.
and it's,
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's a good use of your money. Yeah.
Wow. Well, and it was so frustrating before because you'd have the windows which were all scratched up by people's ski poles and stuff, and you try and take a photo through that glass. That must be spectacular.
It was raining. Well, it was sprinkling when I did it, but it was still worth it. It was so cool.
Cool. Sounds cool. So, you know, what can I say about the views? They're Swiss, they're stupendous. And this is where Heidi lives. This is, you know, where the cows are in their summer, you know, high pastures feeding. And here's the Iger, probably the most famous mountain of this part of Switzerland. The Iger is, I should say, was famous for mountain climbs. It wasn't climbed until 1938 for the first time. But I'm showing you this image because this gal in the foreground is making great use of those poles, which I use all the time. But she may be a local gal who does this all the time and isn't that interested in the view. But let me tell you two things I see wrong here. Number one is she's walking uphill. She's walking the route uphill. If she'd done her homework ahead of time, she could have been walking downhill. And the second thing is she's walking away from the view. The view is behind her. All the way along this walk, the mountains are behind her. So again, she may just be a gal there who knows this stuff, walks it every day, but that'd be my suggestion to keep in mind. So you're hiking towards the mountains here, and you will see Edelweiss. Edelweiss is up there. It's illegal to pick, but it's there. Beautiful little flowers, almost like felt texture on their leaves. And you know, just slow down and see what you see along the trail. Just before you get to Kleine Scheidegg, there's this mountain hut, which was a favorite. We always stopped there for a beer and a great view, and it was uncrowded. The big crowds are down below in that picture. Those buildings down below are Kleine Scheidegg. That's a transportation hub, and that gets a mob of tourists in the summer months. So up here on this little chalet up above, about a 10-minute hike short of Kleine Scheidegg, you've got the best of both worlds, I think. Now, when you get up here to this point at Kleine Scheidegg, you could head back down to the valley, which is what I'm sort of advocating. But if you have a lot of money and a real interest, you could go take a train up inside of this mountain, inside the Iger, that loops around and comes up at the top of the Jungfraujoch. And the Jungfraujoch is over 11,000 feet, a great view. This is super expensive, guys. To do this from Lauterbrunnen up to the top and back is gonna, what, 150, 200 bucks? Last time I checked.
Like, yeah, 200, I'd say.
Yeah. So don't feel like you have to buy the whole thing up front right away. Just buy a ticket up to Kleine Scheidegg and see what the weather is gonna be like then. So you wouldn't want to hike if it was you're in the right side photo because the mountain's in the clouds. And every time you buy a ticket, you can see in the upper right-hand corner of this ticket office, there's a TV screen that is showing people live feed video from the tops of these mountains. So you can see what you're paying money for up at the top. So that's handy. And of course, there's plaques that you can take a look at that show the different climbing routes up that 5,000-foot vertical face, the Iger North Wall, the Nordwand, the North Wall. Be aware that mountains make their own weather, and it may be summer, but you may wake up with a dusting of snow. It happens, you know. Talk to people in Colorado and places like that. You know, winter, or I should say mountain weather, can really surprise you sometimes. Lisa, I had the last tour of the year years ago in October, and we had a beautiful hike, I would say first week of October, 6th, 7th, 8th of October in there. Gorgeous hike. And the next morning on our exit day, we woke up to 5 inches of snow. You would have never expected it, but those are the mountains. So just be aware. And I just love the way the Swiss coexist with their topography. Look at this guy, 10 feet from the abyss, and he's happy as a clam in his garden.